So I was looking for some videos to react to. A lot of times it's just stuff that's in my feed. It's just stuff that I'm seeing. And I saw one that I was very interested. It's probably going to be a short video. I want to take a look at this video, respond to it, and then read some of the comments because it's pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and take a look at this video. It's from Morgan 2.0, 2.07. I don't know. Anyway, check this out.
Churches are primarily used one day a week on Sunday, which means they could effectively house people and end homelessness in the next week.
Wow. You figured it out, man. You got to get to the churches. You got to get to the churches. That's the way to do it. Churches should be responsible for everything that's wrong in the nation, everything that's wrong in the country. Obviously, I'm being a little facetious, but like the way that this video was shot, and this is what I hate about TikTok. I've really reacted to a couple of TikTok videos, and they're longer now. You can do like longer videos, but this is 8 seconds. This is all you're going to say, and you're going to not address anything else. Let's be serious. Like, come on. Like the expectation of churches are ridiculous. And I know that this guy is not in church because it is extremely presumptuous to think that a church is primarily used once a week. If nothing else, there's at least a couple of midweek activities that happen on top of that within the church functions. But I know, like just in my area, there are schools that have now begun to operate, co-ops that have started to operate in churches. There are prayer groups. There are people who come in and use the facility. Like we have a very nice facility. And so there are people who come in all the time, at least asking to use, our AV or our auditorium or different things like that. Funerals, memorials, not even for people in our church, but for just, people in our community to use. We do that for free. We do it, if we do end up charging, it's very low cost. And so like, I could show you our church calendar and just see all of the things within the church that we do. There's also a lot of external events that happen. And so tell me you don't go to church without telling me you don't go to church. This crazy to think that you could just solve it by this one simple thing. And man, you figured it out. Like, congratulations. That's awesome. Videos like this really upset me because people walk away and go, oh man, yeah, I've never thought about it like that. I guess they only are used once a week. And I guess they could do all these other things. What's really the primary function of the church though? To equip the saints for the work of the ministry. That's Ephesians. We are not meant to be the America's soup kitchen. We are not meant to be America's housing, solution. I'm not saying that there's not a role and a place that the church should have. Absolutely, your church should be partnering with local ministries, local nonprofits. We should absolutely be raising money, whether it's through one fund, Kingdom Builders, or whether it's through multiple different things, outreach programs. There's absolutely should be a partnership between your community and your church. But we cannot just in the name of Christians are supposed to love everybody and they're supposed to do all this. Like, we're not supposed to just be all of these things at all times, in all contexts. You don't know what the church down the road is doing. You don't know what your own church might be doing. Like, you have no idea if you're going to talk this brazen about that. Like I said, you one day a week. Oh yeah, you got it. You figured it out. That's great. You gotta do a little bit more research, especially if you're gonna talk about this. I did want to go ahead and just look at some of the comments here. Somebody said your car is primarily used during the day. You should let homeless people sleep there at night. They don't have bedrooms. Taylor Swift could build enough apartments to end homelessness. Go ask her. She's a billionaire. Somebody asked, how many homeless have you taken in? Banks close every day at 5 p.m. They'd be good places for people to sleep at night. Funerals, weddings, Bible study, daily mass. Tell me you've never been a part of the church. Churches charge for weddings. LOL. Not all churches and not all circumstances. Now, if you're looking for a place and you're not currently a part of a church and you ask a church, they might have a fee. But I know for us, like if we end up charging, the primary function that we charge for is to put volunteer teams together to run the AV, to make sure that people are there to lock in and lock out and all that stuff. Like you don't know. I love this. You got an extra room or even a couch. Your house is empty when you go to work. Maybe you should invite somebody to stay there. If your church is only used once a day, I love this comment. If your church is only used one day a week, get a new church. I love that. I think that's awesome. But man, I just, dude, like I said, this stuff, you make an 8-second clip. You think you're smart. You think you know how to fix it. Congratulations. Like by this logic, like we could hold every fast food chain, for world hunger. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? This is crazy. And so, let me know your thoughts. Am I too riled up on this? Am I not being, compassionate enough in this? Let me know your experiences. Is your church primarily used once a day? What's your opinion of churches? Do you mostly see them empty? I know for me and a lot of the other churches in our community, very active, and not just for church things. I mean, church things for sure. There's 3 or 4 things a week, but even non-church activities and things that are partnering with the community. And there's a lot of things that churches are used for. And if you think that it's only used once a day, probably need to get to church. So anyway, let me know what you think about this. Can't wait to hear your comments, to see what your opinions are on this. Let me know in the comments. Appreciate you. God bless. Have a great rest of your day.